and definitely in charge here on a Saturday morning, bringing you all the best in sports, entertainment, conversation, laughs, and whatever else you want to go to. Happy Juneteenth to everybody. The day after wonderful, wonderful celebrations going down all over the city of Louisville. And I'm just super excited to be in this one. We have so much to get into, so much to talk about. I was in here trying to figure out the what I wanted to go with for the intro music. I always forget how quickly the music pops up when we get in here on a Saturday morning. It's just kind of crazy. So I was in here fiddling around, trying to get everything up and going, but we're up in here. We're going. We're good to go. Of course, the best ways to get involved with the show this morning, 502-414-1450. That is the Game Day Men's Health text line. You can give us and send us all your texts this morning. You can, of course, always talk to us as well live if you want to get on the air, 502-384-1450. That is the Call Your Law Office hotline. And, of course, we are streaming live across Twitter, X, YouTube, Facebook. So you can reach out to us there, and we can read your comments online there. So many things to get into this morning. Of course, shout out to Mike Rutherford. He allowed me the opportunity to sit in for him earlier this week. Got to go on there with Rutherford, on the Rutherford show with Trevor Kelsey, both Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Had a great time there with Trevor. It was the first time that me and him had done a show together in a good long while, but really, really enjoyed taking over for Mike a couple of days this week and doing 6 hours of quality radio, 2:30 to 5:30, both Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. I actually came across some very interesting topics, and I do want to get my Saturday listeners involved in some of that conversation as well, because I know not everybody necessarily gets to listen during the week. So, I want to get their thoughts. Of course, Haven Harrington will be along as well soon, and I want to get his thoughts on that as well. A lot happening, in the world of, sports. Of course, you have the World Cup, Team USA getting a win again last night. I believe it was over Australia. You'll have to forgive me. I don't watch much of the World Cup, but I'm pretty sure they were out there against the Aussies and got the 2-0 victory. So shout out to them. From what I understand, this will get them into the knockout stage. I am not a World Cup guy, but USA soccer, I'm calling it soccer. It's not football, it's soccer. USA soccer is continuing to look strong as they rush toward the actual, tournament. That's what they call the knockout stage. Once you get to, win and move on, lose and go home stage of this World Cup. So, and they've looked pretty good. They've looked pretty good from what I understand it. So congratulations to them. I am currently just completely bunkered up, getting ready for next week's NBA draft. That's what I am most locked in and focused in on. I'm super, super excited. So many big-time players and athletes getting ready to hear their name called in one of the most successful freshman classes of my lifetime. Honestly, I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of talent, and I cannot wait to hear those guys' names called. Of course, Michael Brown Jr. Is going to hear his name called very, very early on, the Louisville point guard. So I definitely want to hear what he's going to be where he's going to be drafted. A lot of conversation right now with Michael Brown Jr. Being selected in the top 5. It sounds like the Los Angeles Clippers, who currently select at number 5, really, really like him. And they really, really, really want to draft him. Now, whether, I've heard some people say that there could be a possibility that the Clippers trade back because Sacramento is really, really in love with Darius Acuff, another big-time point guard out of Arkansas. So there could be some shenanigans where the Clippers try to force a trade with the Kings, who I believe sit at number 6, I believe. So there could be some jockeying around between, I guess, picks 5 and 7. But it sounds like Michael Brown Jr. Is going to be a Clipper more than likely. Now, of course, things could change draft night if anything crazy happens. I don't expect anything too crazy to happen early on, but I mean, it's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild night, and this night is actually going to get started a little bit earlier in the week. Normally, the NBA draft is on like a Thursday night. The draft is getting started on Tuesday this week. So it'll be coming up early on next week. And that was actually one of the questions I want to ask is bring Haven Harrington in here as well. Haven, good morning, brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to have you in the captain's chair so we can chop it up this morning. I have a whole lot going on. You doing all right? You having a good week?
Man, I'm having a great week.
You was at a big event last night, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm just a little tired, man. I went to LFA 235 at Freedom Hall. Man, another great event, another sold-out event. Big ups my man Eddie Donaldson for having me out, man. We got to hang out, have some fun. Got to watch the fight in the suites at Freedom Hall.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes. Okay. And the Louisville, like last year when we went, the Louisville guys didn't do too well. This year, they made up for themselves.
Okay.
I think they went like 5-1 in the prelims.
Really?
Yeah. I think last year they lost like almost like every fight they had.
Yeah.
No, this year they reversed it.
Okay. Very nice. Who were kind of some of the big headline, or had the fights of the night, if you will.
Well, for those of you who may have watched it, it was, like, to give you guys an idea what LFA is. LFA is, for those who don't, is like the second largest MMA probably organization around. They're the direct feeder to UFC. So a lot of guys like on this card, you're going to see them in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
And this is nationally televised. It was on ESPN Deportes, Vice TV. Started 9:00. So yeah, it was nice. So like the big event, the headliner was Stewart versus Havner.
Okay.
And the main event, man, great fight. Let me know, because I wasn't actually, when this fight came on, I was kind of having a good time, so to speak. I missed the main event because I was too busy. Chopping it up.
Haven. So what that equals to is Haven Harrington's over a party, and instead of paying attention to what's going on in the octagon.
Oh, I totally was.
It's dear.
I totally was, man. Because it was such like a party atmosphere.
Absolutely.
It's hard not to. Plus, I was in Eddie Donaldson's suite, so I was talking. Like,
oh yeah, I'm sure plenty of
tons of elected officials there. A ton of guys. I met John from they have a car lot on Crittenden Drive, but they also today actually I head up to Ohio for a car show. What cars are with the 3-wheel motion, all the hyped up cars and stuff. So they're headed to Ohio right now to do that.
Oh, okay.
So I got to talk to them. A couple of bourbon distributors here, so I got to hang out with them. Yeah, I was flat my gums, as you would say, quite a bit last night.
You were out there networking.
I was.
So did they do a lot? Because I know a lot of times, especially with the local MMA events, they'll have like a pretty large number of locals prior to
so
fights. Did they do that?
Oh, they did totally. So there's almost like 15, 16 fights. Like the fight started at 6.
Yeah.
Right. But the main card doesn't start till 9:00.
Okay.
And the main card normally consists like 4 or 5 bouts. On the one I did watch was Jake Woodley and David Wright. Man, that was
okay.
Whew, whew, whew. I was about. I mean, man, Woodley just slept David Wright with the overhand right in 4 seconds of the first round.
Oh wow!
Just slept him. I mean, it just slept him.
Yeah. It's always interesting with those undercard fights, and that's why I encourage folks, if you get a chance to go to any of the local MMA or boxing events, especially MMA, you're gonna get the bang for your buck. You're gonna get to see so many fights, and you're going to see a lot. You know, I know a lot of people are used to watching like the MMA fights when they're watching UFC or something like that, where guys are like super technical. There's not a lot of times there can be a lot when you have two really high level guys. There's not as much action that per se. It's a little bit slower. When you go to these events where you have amateur guys out there and they're just trying to make it, and of course because they're amateurs, guys who have the hopes of at some point turning professional, these fights don't necessarily count against their record. So guys are just out there just going at it. It's very entertaining. It's very entertaining. So I definitely encourage folks to get out there. So, big shout out to Eddie Donaldson for once again bringing the quality, combat sports event to the city because, we do it right here. We have a very devoted community to the combat sports here in the city of Louisville. So
yeah, we do. Because I'll be going out tonight to check out our good friends DeRico Murray and Joe Shirley with Future Promotions.
Yeah,
their big fight at 8:00 today at 2800 West Main Street.
Yes.
So I'll be out there watching Tim Mayhem Moten.
Oh yeah, local favorites. One of the best dudes. The main event first day main event guy. Been on with us several times here, both in Main Event Sports as well as Wake Up 502. So I always love when the Mayhem is in the building because it's going to be
a show.
Down. Yeah, it's going down.
It's going to be a show. But man, I'm telling you, the LA card last night was tremendous.
What's up?
It was completely sold out. Completely sold out. Literally, like every seat in the house was taken.
Okay. Cool. Well, you know what? I'm glad for it. I appreciate your expertise on giving us a breakdown of the main events and the main card. That was an excellent job by you. But I know you were out there, running your mouth.
I was networking,
having a good old time, which I can't hate on that. I got to get that done. Got to shake the hands, kiss the babies, and do all that.
Yeah, man, because we got to pay the bills around here, so we got to figure out some way to do it.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you because like I said, there's so many things going on. There's one question that I did not get to really pose during the week that I wanted to get started at, and with the NBA draft coming up as the next big event, really and truly, in the world of sports outside of the World Cup. I had this thought and I wondered about it, and I wanted to know, how excited should people? Because normally when Louisville has a player that is good enough to have their name called in the NBA draft first round, it's a huge deal. To have one of those guys. I think back to Donovan Mitchell. I think back to Terrence Williams, Earl Clark. Think about Terry Rozier. Over some of the guys over the years that when these guys were headed to the NBA draft, it was a big conversation point. People were super excited about it, and I just want to know. And of course, you guys can give us your thoughts on this as well. 502-414-1450. How excited are people to see where Michael Brown is going to go?
You know what? I would say most of the fans I talk to are bittersweet.
Yeah,
about it because they're excited. A Louisville Cardinals going to go in the lottery pick of the first round of the NBA draft. But
anytime you have a Louisville player go in the top 10, there's not been very many Louisville Cardinals to ever go in the top 10.
It's not been many, but the problem is he barely played. So it's like, you want to get behind him, but like he really didn't play here. I mean, he did. He was here, but he didn't play the entire month of March.
He played about half the games. He played about half the games.
He played about half the games, but half those games at the beginning part of the season, and then once he got injured, he was gone almost all December. Came back for a game or two, and then was gone again. So, we never really got to see what Michael Brown Jr. could really, really do. He had that one game where he scored 45 points and was lights out from three and was attacking the basket and looked like he was going to be the all-world guard that he
played 21 games. That's more than 60% of the games.
But here's the thing. He played 21 games, but in college basketball, when it matters, in late February and March, that's where you really make your money. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. He played the beginning part of the season where we kind of got to see him mature and become, and like I said, that one game where that he showcased everything that we thought that he was going to be, and then it was gone. So it's he played quote unquote 60% of the games. It just didn't feel like it. It felt like he was barely here.
Yeah, it's very weird. He played almost twice as many games as Kyrie Irving did for the Duke Blue Devils. Kyrie only played in 12 games for Duke, whereas Michael did get in 21 games, before the back injury really just kind of slowed him and took him out of a lot of the action in March, from pretty much mid-February through the end of the season. He wasn't able to get out there and play. And it's very interesting because that's why I said this is a very interesting case study, because I feel like there's a lot of Louisville fans out there that, were frustrated with the fact that Michael just wasn't healthy enough to get out there. And there was a level of, well, he probably could have played, but he wasn't going to play at 100%. And, his camp really did not want to put him out there unless he was able to get out there and go full go. And that was frustrating for some because people wanted Louisville to have that opportunity to do something special in March. And without Michael, that was going to be difficult, especially coming up against a very good Michigan State team in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
And what makes it worse from watching the Michigan State game, you could tell if Michael had played,
Louisville probably beats Michigan State.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what really hurts the most. It's you watched us in the ACC tournament. You watched us in the NCAA tournament, and you knew if we had Michael Brown playing, even at 80%, we would have gone further in both tournaments than what we did.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, and I feel like, and you are absolutely right, Haven Harrington. I think that a lot of Louisville fans share that frustration.
And what hurts even more is that when you hear other guys talk about, I'm hurt, but I'm still playing anyway because this is my school, and he's another one, and he's the other one and done guy. So it's not just 3 or 4 year dudes. Other guys were just there for 1 year and out. We're man, I'm going to give it my all. I'm playing hurt. I'm going to do it. We're going to make the tournament, and we're going to make this run. And you look at Michael in warm-ups, and, you could tell that he may be a little hurt, but it really looks like he's just sitting out to protect his draft stock, which it looks like that was a smart move for him, right?
Yeah.
Because it protected his draft stock. But, man, as a Louisville fan, you're just kind of dude, if you're 80, 90%, we're what's up?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like Michael, I think it's huge what happens on Tuesday night for Louisville with Michael. And the reason I say that is Michael is one of those rare players that his impact to Louisville is more than likely going to be bigger after he leaves Louisville than it ever was when he was here at the school. A lot like Donovan Mitchell, because to Donovan's sake, Donovan only made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament with Rick Pitino, losing to Michigan in the second round of his sophomore year.
That's Rick's fault.
Because
Rick refused to play Donovan point guard. Even everybody on the team, Quentin Snyder himself was dude, he needs to be point guard.
I mean, yes. No,
everybody on the team was like, he needs to be a point guard. Like, what are you doing?
He did not move Donovan to point. He would not move, take Dingadale off of Wagler, even though he was getting destroyed by Wagler. There's a few things about that. But nonetheless, Donovan's team only made the second round as well. But, of course, where his biggest value has been as an ambassador of the Cardinals, a face of the University of Louisville in the NBA. And in that respect, he's been humongous. The fact that he's had has his own shoe. He's one of the biggest stars in the NBA. He's been on NBA 2K. He wears Louisville and reps Louisville everywhere. And kids coming up look up to Spider. And that him being seen as the Louisville guy has, honestly helped them get Michael Brown. And it's helped Louisville get in the door with a lot of players and Louisville to be popular with a lot of up-and-coming high school players and up-and-coming talented players. And I think that Michael Brown is going to be that, can be that same type of lighthouse to young players and young hoopers. People are going to know that, Michael played and is now the tied for the most points scored in a single game in Louisville history. Like, young players look up to Michael Brown Jr. Like, he's one of the quote unquote cool guys, coming out of high school, playing in college and heading to the NBA. So I think that Michael Brown Jr.'s impact for the University of Louisville is going to definitely be felt much more after he's gone. So, if this guy goes to, say, the LA Clippers and teams up with Darius Garland and Kawhi Leonard, and they form a pretty potent little duo or trio out there with the Clippers, a team doing well with a young Michael Brown Jr. that has a possibility to be a rookie of the year in the NBA. I think that could pay humongous dividends down the road because, it proves that Pat Kelsey can take a supreme talent and get him drafted, get him to the next level, and he can be an impact guy immediately at the next level. And, people kind of will say, well, he only played 21 games. Well, guess what? Every guy that came through Calipari's system, regardless of the number of minutes that they played, Cal got credit for all of that, for every single guy that came through. Pat Kelsey's going to get that same respect. And if you can back that up with Obinna Ekezie Jr., the number one rated center in the 2026 class who's coming in as a freshman, if he can, shepherd Obinna through a very successful freshman year and Obinna can make that jump as well, I think that continues to solidify that Pat Kelsey can get the best of the best to the next level. Louisville's not really had that, Haven. Like,
no, not at all. Well, one reason is because Rick never really focused on getting like that super top tier talent when he was here. I mean,
and when he did, it either went horribly wrong, like it did with Sebastian Telfair, where Telfair ends up going to the pros rather than coming to Louisville, or weird stuff happens, like what happened with, so many of the guys. It just seemed like every time Rick Pitino went after a 5-star, something crazy happened.
It just never happened.
Either they weren't good, either the 5 stars that he brought in weren't good enough, we get in trouble. The only time it really worked out for him was with Wayne and Shane. Wayne Blackshear and Shane Behan.
Did it really?
That worked. They won a national championship.
I mean, but
he won that. They helped Louisville win a national championship.
I was like, they won a national championship, but it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, for the players personally, for them going to the pros, no, you're right. No, it helped. Louisville ended up winning with those guys, but no, even their professional careers never really got off the ground. So, Rick Pitino, struggled in that respect of being able to take an elite talent, help him get ready for the pros and get to the pros and be big-time impact players, outside of, he got T. Will drafted in the lottery, he got Earl drafted in the lottery, but those guys didn't have the pro careers that you would have liked to have seen. Donovan's really, and Terry Rozier were the only two kind of guys that really became stars and well-known players in the NBA. So,
sometimes I wonder if they became stars in the league despite Rick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because Rick is such a college folk. Like, Rick was never really focused.
Donovan gives Rick Pitino all of the credit in the world for what he did to prepare him.
Because Donovan is a stand-up guy and he's going to say the right thing.
Well, I don't know, though, but like Donovan coming out of I can't remember the name of the academy up there in New England. Hey, him coming out of high school, he was not a guy who was developed enough to be even close to a pro. I think that's all Rick Pitino, in my personal opinion. Like, Donovan had the elite athleticism, but he didn't really have the game, the work ethic, or the understanding of how to play basketball. I do think that Rick had a tremendous role in his development. I really do. Just because Donovan basically coming out was a 6'2" athlete, built like a football player.
I'm just kind of curious. Like, if he was able to play point most at U of L, I'm just kind of curious. Like Edgar Sosa, if Edgar Sosa was able to be a 2 guard instead of a point guard, like how much further Edgar Sosa's career have gone?
I mean, should have worked. You never know. Look, Rick always had. There were a lot of missteps with Rick, and there were also guys that just didn't work out.
But I would say this: I'm one of the few Louisville fans that's not like Rick Pitino is the greatest coach of all time. So,
I mean, Rick Pitino to me is the best coach of our generation. I mean, I think it's Coach K and Rick Pitino of this generation of coaches. To me, are the 2 best by far. He's done the most. The fact that he's taken multiple teams to the Final Four, three teams in total to the Final Four. He's been St. John's. He's been super successful. Like Rick Pitino, the ability to take every program. Like there have been individual coaches like Izzo, like Kay that did it one place, but in terms of going to multiple schools and getting multiple schools to that level, St. John's was a Final Four level program. I know they did not make it last year. They made it to the Elite Eight, but they were good enough. They were good enough to get to another Final Four. That would have been 4 programs to the Final Four, which has never been done before. I think that Kay and Pitino are the best too. But, like you said, Pitino has done it. He did it at Louisville, having to take lesser players and really, really develop them and be a program builder. Whereas guys like Calipari take that elite talent and they've been able to kind of shepherd that elite talent and help those guys reach their dreams and also be effective college basketball players. Kay was able to do it both ways. Kay was able to take, lesser talents and make them a great team. He was able to shepherd elite talents and have those guys be elite at Duke and also, be able to make it to the next level as well. So, it's very interesting. And Coach Pat Kelsey has an opportunity, Haven, to, in my personal opinion, do both. I mean, the way he's been able to help put, the year one, he took a lot of mid-major guys and young, hungry guys that really hadn't done anything and kind of put together and had a super successful team, only 2 losses in the ACC in his first year. Second year, took another group of, maybe skilled guys, but maybe not athletically good enough to, Louisville had an okay season. I think that they could have made a Sweet 16 had Michael Brown be healthy. But, if he can start to become a coach that's popular with the best talent year in and year out in the country, like Louisville hasn't had a coach that's been able to do that since Denny Crum. Denny got his share of a high-level elite guys. He didn't get all of them, but he got a lot of them.
He got a lot of them. He was able to coach a lot of guys up, too. So.
Yes, he did both. I mean, and I think that's the opportunity that Pat Kelsey has in front of him, and that's why I believe that, where Michael goes and how good of a season Michael has, like, I don't want to see Michael end up with the Brooklyn Nets.
Well,
so a team like that where they're never going to be on TV, they're going to be terrible. Like, to me, Brooklyn and Sacramento are the 2 teams, and the scary thing is those are the guys that pick at 6 and 7. So, like, if Michael goes to either one of those 2 franchises, man,
he just disappears.
It feels like he might just disappear. So I think that both Michael personally and the University of Louisville have a lot on the line.
To me, it's going to be interesting, like how much having a player like Michael actually translates into recruiting in the NIL era. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
I'm just kind of curious to like how that translation now works.
It's interesting because Lachlan McClain reached out. When I discussed the fact that Michael was getting a lot of buzz, and I was talking about that, and Lachlan McClain just kind of sent me a message on X. He replied to my tweet and just was like, does this really matter? And does it really matter? And I really think it does, because Michael, I don't think people really understand, people that don't follow high school basketball and don't follow things closely. Michael Brown is one of the most infectious and popular players in this draft class. He was one of the most popular, if not the most popular player coming out of this class, even though you had guys who were more talented in Cam Boozer and AJ DeBonta and Darren Peterson. Like, in terms of popularity, style of play, kind of being a guy that's just eye-catching in how he plays basketball, Michael was probably the most entertaining guy coming out of that class. So I think that his cachet, if he can get into that right situation and continue to elevate his star, this is a kid that can get the shoe deal early. This is a kid that can, if he gets into the right situation, can be a guy that's, nightly Sports Center, and that, when young guys see that Michael is doing what he does, Louisville is going to reap those benefits. Pat Kelsey is going to reap those benefits. So I think it's very important, like what happens on Tuesday night for the University of Louisville. And it's just because you want University of Louisville to continue to be one of those cool schools. When you look at Reese Austin, son of Rafer Austin, Skip to Malou, he's the number one point guard in the class of 2027. He's seriously considering, committing to the University of Louisville. I'm going to tell you right now, Haven, Michael Brown doing well will not hurt that recruitment at all. You already have Donovan Mitchell doing what he's doing behind the scenes to be an ambassador for a lot of these young guys. But if Michael goes out there, let's say he gets drafted, and then, of course, NBA Summer League will be coming up very quickly after the draft. If he goes to the Summer League, puts on a show, and can get that buzz going, that helps Louisville basketball recruiting. It does. I'm just telling you. So there's still a lot on the line. And that's one of the things that, while Louisville fans can be salty about the way things, transpired with Michael as a player here at Louisville and got frustrated because of things not going well down the stretch, there's still a lot that Michael Brown Jr. is more than likely going to do for the Louisville brand, quote unquote. And I think that's super important moving forward, because there's a lot of very good players that Louisville and Coach Kelsey are in on. A lot of guys really like Pat Kelsey, but I think that what guys like Michael and Obina Akizi Jr. do over these couple of years can really help secure Louisville's future with the best in high school basketball. So
that, and Louisville need more money for NIL. Yeah.
Well, and I think that the thing with NIL, the NIL's part of it is all these kids are going to get paid very well, even though, it sounds like the government may come in and try to impose a cap on these NIL payments. These kids are going to get paid, so the question is, when all money's the same between, say, a Louisville, an Arkansas, a Duke, a Michigan, a Kentucky, who that kid goes to and who that kid decides to put his lot in is still going to come down to where they think they fit and who has had success with players that are trying to, who that they want to get to a certain level, who are other players that these coaches have gotten to this level. Can they get them there? That still matters.
I mean, of all the teams you made, Duke, yes, because they're Duke. Yeah. But the only really, look at John Shire and what he's done. The only guy left standing is still Calipari.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Coach, as the guy who was at almost every NBA Finals game, looking at, pretty much.
He was loving life. Yes. While watching De'Aaron Fox and Karl Anthony Towns.
De'Aaron Fox had a horrible finals.
Yeah. Just peed down the leg. He just peed down the leg.
But Karl Anthony Towns balled out.
Yeah. So, Cat won title,
How many guys has Cal put in the league?
So many guys.
It's just crazy.
And they're calling this, because Cal has, of course, once again, another ridiculous recruiting class coming to Arkansas this fall, and that they have tabbed their team. They have 6 recruits coming in this year. Can you take a wild guess what they're calling them? Louisville had a 6-man class one year. Do you remember that?
Yeah, okay.
They called them the Super 6.
Yeah.
So they're calling Cal 6 guys the Sinister 6
The Sinister Six.
Yeah, shout out to Spider-Man, the villain.
That's what I was thinking. Yes. Electro,
yes.
Ryan on those cats.
Yes, yeah, Dr. Octopus and all that, and Vulture and all those guys. So they're calling the Sinister Six coming to an Arkansas basketball court near you this fall.
You know what? I get it because Cal, he may not always get to the NCAA championship game, but good Lord, can that man find NBA talent?
Yeah. Well, I mean, 100%.
He's like the greatest NBA recruiter ever.
I mean, he's just. I mean, and you know what? You can't tell me that UK fans don't miss that.
They have to miss it.
They can't. You can't tell me that they don't miss.
I mean, like
just having.
No. So here's the thing. Like we just got through talking about Michael Brown Jr. and his draft status for like the past 15 minutes. And are getting geeked up, right?
Yeah.
Cal's had like, at least when he was at UK every year, at least one guy that was a lottery pick. So in some years, and a lot of years he was there, multiple guys that were lottery picks.
So I'm sure there's some Kentucky fans out there.
And now you go to nothing. You go from having literally one or two guys, a lottery pick every year in the NBA draft, having almost whole teams be Kentucky alumni playing, to we're paying $6 million or $9 million for Mila, whatever his last name is,
Momchilovich,
for a guy who can shoot threes and can't play defense.
It's definitely a different day and age in Lexington. For sure. So, yeah, I don't do this much, but Kentucky fans, I know you all are out there listening. 502-414-1450. Keep it real. Do you miss Cal's offseason just like rearming of NBA talent? You got to miss it a little bit. You have to, because y'all keep it real. Let me know.
I mean, Kentucky went from being always talked about to now Kentucky's kind of like, just a school.
Yeah, just a school with dudes, and maybe they're good enough to make a Sweet 16 and have a push for a Final Four. They're just like everybody else. They are. I mean, they may hate to admit that, but they're just like every other good program that's wondering, second weekends where they're hoping to get to, and could they have a chance to push to maybe slide into a Final Four? That's where Kentucky is as a program right now. So, do you miss Cal and his bevy of 5 stars? That's coming up next. This is Wake Up 502. We're crazy late for our first break. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, and we'll be back on the Big X. Welcome back in. Second segment of the show, Wake Up 502, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, now being joined also. Intern Dre is back in the building. Dre, good morning, brother. How are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, what's been going on with you, Dre? You enjoying your summer so far? Anything good going on?
It's been pretty good. I went to a little camp for like a week.
Okay.
Football camp?
No, not a football camp. It was like for my church. It was KAA.
Okay. Very nice. You got to go out there and do they still do? What is that? The popsicle cabins. What do they do with them? Because they used to always have all those little crafts and stuff. Build some stuff. You had to go out there. You have the s'mores. You had to sing the songs. Did you all have any little contests or anything? You go out there and do a talent show or something like that, Trey?
No, not really. Just went in the cabin, and we had like free time. Then we had like we had breakfast. Then we had like free time. Then we had like some you have like this little activity thing where you like go do a sport. Like you go train in basketball, but then at the end of like the week you'll play like the counselors in basketball.
Okay.
Or like you go to football, then you train in football, then you play the counselors in football, something like that.
I like it. I don't know about. I like when they had a little bit more competition at these camps. We're gonna need to give away some ribbons. First prize, second prize, third place. All those type of things. But I'm glad you're having a good time. Glad your summer's off. And appreciate you being able to come in this morning. And I have a very good little topic. And I was telling the fellas in the break that we kind of got into this on Wednesday. I did. When we had when I was in here talking on the Mike Rutherford show, talking to Trevor Kelsey and talking to intern Ian, who was in the building on Wednesday, I had a thought for this coming season. And, people haven't really talked a lot about Louisville's football season this upcoming year. Of course, Lincoln Keenholz, the transfer quarterback from Ohio State, now coming over, selected by Jeff Brom to lead the Cardinals this coming fall. A lot on the line for Louisville football this coming year. This is going to be Coach Brom's fourth season here as the coach of University of Louisville, coming off. He had the big run in his first year to the ACC championship, and since then the results over the following two seasons after that big run in his first year have been a little bit less than what people really expected. So there's a lot on the line for Coach Brom this coming season. And there's also a lot on the line for Coach Kelsey. Coach Kelsey is coming into a year where Louisville really put their foot forward in terms of NIL support. They really put a lot of resources into getting Pat Kelsey everything he needed to have a splash in year three. And so I wanted to pose the question to you guys this morning to say, who has more pressure on them to perform this coming fall? Who has the bigger upcoming 2026-2027 season? I think this is a very interesting conversation to have. And I wanted to know, Haven, I'm going to ask you first as the elder statement, because they say age before beauty. So I'm going to ask you first. And we'll break down and get into the both sides of it from both football and basketball. But just your first thoughts when you hear that question of who has the bigger season upcoming, or who needs to be better this upcoming year, Brom or Kelsey?
The stakes are high, right? Because you have U of L taking out tens of millions of dollars in loans to float the athletic department. The athletic department is going to probably be $30 million in a hole. They just extended Brom's contract. They upped NIL money for both football and basketball. They both came into the season highly hyped, especially the basketball team this year came in really hyped. Where people are talking about this is a Final Four roster. This is probably the most complete roster in college basketball. And they win one game in the tournament. And it was just, now I'm not going to say the season, it was just okay. It wasn't what it should have been. Football, the same thing. They came with a lot of hype. And the season just fell apart with horrible losses to Stanford and Clemson at home, a bad Clemson team. You never could get out of your own way with turnovers and penalties. Yes, you beat Miami, and then that was it. The rest of the season just kind of fell apart. And this wasn't the only disappointing season that Brom had. The season before that was, once again, you had the talent. You had the Tyler Shuck who could sling it. You had a running game, but the defense wasn't there, and they let you down game after game. And you had a chance to still go to the playoffs, and you lose to Stanford.
Yeah.
So, like, both of these guys, it's you got to do something.
Yeah, it's kind of a put up or shut up
for both teams.
Yeah,
for both coaches. But I'm gonna say the onus, even though we're a basketball first school, I'm gonna say maybe most of the onus may be on Brom, because football has potential to make the most money. That's what Louisville needs the most of to keep this thing going. And if the football team gets going, and with the ACC payout structure, you really need the football team to really make a big push and to hopefully make the playoffs.
Okay.
Because then the economic windfall would be such that you could prop up the athletic department another year with the big push in football. And I'm going to go with football literally just based on financials.
Interesting.
And what the athletic department needs financially. Football has to hit it this season. But I think for the hearts and minds of Cardinal fans, I think for them it's basketball. Because last year was such a disappointing season. Last year you did have so much hype. And I still believe to this day that we had the roster last year to really make a whole lot of noise. And I still believe we had a Final Four roster. I just didn't think that Pat Kelsey had the coaching staff or the system to take advantage of the pieces he had.
Interesting. Dre, what do you think? As the you are the voice of the youth. You're the voice of the youth. You're the voice of young Cardinal fans. For you, who do you think there's more pressure on to have a big season this upcoming year? Just from what you've seen from Louisville football, Louisville basketball over these last, over last year and what they've done so far.
It's probably Jeff Brom, most definitely. And the probably don't go 6-6 because I don't see the talent there. I haven't seen Leaking Keenholz do anything except for like run the ball and kind of throw a little ball around at the spring game. But I think Jeff Brom has to hopefully go at least 9-3, 10-2, 11-1 to at least get in the playoff to get at least the 12 seed and play like a really good team, get like blown out by like Oregon. But
yeah.
Either way, Louisville basketball still has to be good. You have Jackson Selstad, you have Carter Knox, you got Floyd Badunga, all these people.
A lot of talent. Yeah, no, I and it's so interesting to hear you guys say that because, there's so many Louisville fans out there that, and I don't know if it's because Jeff Brom is a Louisville guy, Trinity guy, he's our guy, that people are kind of very dismissive of Louisville football, saying, Jeff Brom's got it rolling. They're going to go out there. It's going to be 9-10 wins. They're going to be, we're super excited. They're going to make this playoff push. And almost kind of dismissive of the question. Like when I asked this question on Wednesday, both Ian and Trevor were like, oh, there's no pressure on Jeff Brom. He's the man. I was like, have you seen the Vegas projections for Louisville this year? I can't remember which sports book it was, whether it's MGM or DraftKings or one of the others, but they're over under. Hey, you know what Louisville's over under is for this year?
What, 7 wins?
7.5. Like, that's not the Vegas projection of a team that anybody's expecting anything special from. If you're a football program that's 7.5 wins is your projection,
you're NC State.
Exactly. Thank you.
NC State.
You're North Carolina.
Yes, you're a very average football team. And it feels like a lot of Louisville fans are looking at Louisville football in their head and thinking that Louisville's this, 10-win playoff potential, looking to win the ACC team, where nationally that's not the conversation. And that's not the feeling of Louisville football.
Well, the thing is, like I said, we're a basketball first school. We're a basketball first school. So, yes, and Kelsey's doing a bang up job on recruiting trail. Like the number one recruiting class, the number one transfer portal class.
Yeah.
Again.
Louisville's going to be a preseason top 10 team.
Yeah. So, I get Louisville fans wanting more pressure for basketball to perform, for basketball to do good. And after last year's disappointing season, people are looking for a comeback and looking like, okay, look, they got a coach that can coach defense. They got a coach that can coach big men. We went out there, we got several big men. So Pat Kelsey has corrected the ship. Now it's time for Louisville basketball dominance, and everybody's geeked up. But for me, for the university, you have to have Jeff Brom succeed. You have to have, financially, you need Louisville football to succeed.
Yeah. Hey, I'm right there with you, and we're going to get very much into this conversation on the other side. We had a quick segment just because we went so long in segment number one, but the financial aspect of it, Haven, I want to look into that more. I want to talk about that much more on the other side as well. You are listening to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Hansen, intern Dre. We'll be back on Big X Sports Radio after the break.
Dre
to the middle of the table. They have virtually said we're going all in on this season for Louisville basketball. So I think that there's going to be a lot on the line,
and football. They gave Brom a nice extension, gave him some more NIL money to be competitive.
Yeah. I mean, it's just very interesting. It's an interesting conversation, and that was the one thing that I said that there's not been a lot of conversation. That's why I feel like even though people won't admit it, people are very nervous about this upcoming football season because I don't hear anybody talking about the football team at all. Hey, Haven, have you heard anybody making any projections or really breaking it down or talking about football this offseason?
Not really, but I think with the disappointing season last season and Pat Kelsey killing it on the recruiting trail, like all the emphasis, all the excitement has shifted to basketball, and football is just kind of falling behind because, after Brom's first season when they went 10-2, they literally underperformed like almost every season he's been here after that. So now people kind of, got in a rut. Okay, Louisville's going to be good. They'll win on average 8 games, and that's who we are as a football team. So people kind of have that narrative built in for Louisville football. With basketball, you got the number 1 transfer portal class. You got a new coach. You got big guys because last year your big guys are horrible. So this year we got a coach and coach big guys. This year when you got to coach defense. And, all the hype is on basketball now. But I'm telling you, for the athletic department, they really need football to overperform. Yeah. Financially, you need football to overperform.
Well, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and go to the Call Your Law office hotline. We got Jay Has on the line. Jay, good morning, brother. How you doing this morning?
Well, Raashaan, and how you doing?
Doing all right, Jay. Doing all right, Jay. We're chopping it up this morning, talking a few different things. I know that you probably have some things that you want to talk about, but I do want to ask you this question before we get to your thoughts and comments. We were just going into the break, and I posed the question to Haven, and we got intern Dre in the building with us this morning. I asked them, and I'm going to ask you the same thing, Jay. In your opinion, there's a lot riding on this coming season. Louisville football, Jeff Brom, Louisville basketball, Pat Kelsey. In your opinion, Jay, who has the bigger pressure on them to perform? Who needs to have a bigger season this coming fall year? Is it Pat Kelsey or is it Jeff Brom and the football team?
Of course, it's Pat Kelsey.
Okay.
They are the biggest part as Louisville football, but
the bat phone's ringing.
but anyway, there's a lot of pressure on Coach Kelsey, man. Over $25 million budget for an NIL, for Louisville basketball program. That's a lot of money. A lot of pressure on Coach Kelsey. You better deliver. Final Four or something.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Louisville fans, Jay, look at it the same way that you look at it. I feel like, in my personal opinion, you guys can give me a text in 502-414-1450, into the Game Day Men's Health text line. But I think, Jay, a lot of Louisville fans look at it like you and feel that Pat Kelsey has a lot more pressure on him because of the amount of NIL that's been put out there, right? Like, there's a lot of money that I think that Louisville spent more money in NIL on Louisville basketball than they did Louisville football this year.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. Louisville basketball has been back for years, for the last decades, 40, 50 years, whatever. But this program, football is bringing out money. The football, supposedly.
Yeah.
But this city rides on their college basketball, man. You got Seattle across the bridge, you got Kentucky up the street, you got Nashville, you got Tennessee up the street. You got all these teams around over. So Kelsey has to produce. You went out and got some top kids and transfer portal. And just see what maximizes Raashaan. Let's see what happens. Maybe on Raashaan. And I'm hearing this too, Raashaan.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Kelsey, Kenny any coach is recruiters. No stuff to coach. And plus, he got some good assistant coaches as well too. The real dominant and positive as well too. I keep hearing that Raashaan. I get so irritable. I don't know those coaches kind of time.
Yeah.
Well, let me just you what he had with the last 2 years where he didn't have talent. He had some talent, but not.
Yeah. He didn't have elite level athletes.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
And Raashaan hear it all the time. I mean, you say a lot of 85% on sports culture across the city. Well, you hear some things about college Louisville basketball and the college sports world too, man. I know it get a little teased to you as well too, because you're a human too, and I get teased up too a lot, Raashaan. But at the end of the day, I love my Louisville basketball. I love my Louisville football.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the passion of this city and the passion of their fans and the way we pull up and support Louisville basketball, Louisville football. Even a team like the Louisville Kings that literally was created out of nothing. Look at the way the fans, wrap themselves up and help push that team to a UFL championship. We love sports in this city, Jay. That's what we do. We love it. We've always supported it, and it's big time. It's important, right?
Love it. I love it, man. I love it.
Michelle,
I'm just trying to see exactly what Coach Kelsey getting ready to do. I'm hearing a lot. What he's doing right now is working conditioning very hard with these top elevated kids. And to see what happens. And plus, we got football first before we have basketball, Raashaan.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's coming up soon too. It's going to be here before you know it.
Raashaan,
Labor Day weekend.
Did you tell your audience, Raashaan and Haven, that you guys got invited to the Alumni Association of University of Louisville tailgating in Nashville?
Yeah, right. The Alumni Association, University of Louisville Alumni Association, is going to have their big shindig down there at Hurricane 10, and yeah, we've been invited to go out there and do our thing, to go out there, set up, and kind of count them down. Both celebrating. The Louisville volleyball team's got a game down there, and then of course the main event, Louisville football taking on Ole Miss, is all going to be going down there in Nashville. We're going to be right down there on Broadway at Hurricane 10, and the Alumni Association has allowed us and asked us to come in and do our thing. I'm excited about it, Jay.
I'm excited too. Man, you got to be excited as well too. Tell them, Haven.
Man, how can you not be excited? Louisville, Nashville, Ole Miss. Come on, man. Ole Miss made the playoffs. You got Chambliss. It's going to be nice, and we're going to see what this Louisville team can be like. And they're going to be healthy with an Isaac Brown, Kewan Brown, Clev Lubin. The defense looks like they're stacked. The offense looks like it's ready to go. I'm excited to see what Kleinholz can do, with the big lights on them. And, like this Louisville football, like this is what we love to do. We love the big opening game. We love having all eyes on us. I may tease Jeff Brom for losing to the worst team on the schedule every year, but he beats the best team on the schedule every year. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do against Ole Miss.
Hey, when I had my answer, Raashaan, my answers for this question as well too. Does Louisville quarterback, will he sustain this season?
Look, that right there, that question of, how good Lincoln Kienholz is, and I talked about this with Trevor, on, I don't know if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, but just the simple fact that, Coach Brom basically chose Lincoln Kienholz, a quarterback that he does not know and who does not know the Brom system, over Deuce Adams. Deuce Adams was supposed to be the next upcoming incumbent. He had spent 2 years in Jeff Brom's system, had a big arm, was a very good athlete, and Jeff Brom basically chose Lincoln Kienholz over Deuce Adams as the next Louisville quarterback. So it'll be interesting, Jay, to see Lincoln Kienholz perform, because I think that that's important to know that Brom had a quarterback that he selected out of high school and tabbed him as, supposed to be the next big thing, and you let him walk out the door, excuse me, for a kid from Ohio State that you don't know anything about and had lost the battle to be the starting quarterback 3 years in a row at Ohio State. You know, so it's a lot of pressure on them.
Wow. So that's another. You asked a good question at the beginning of topic of this show. We talked about pressure, pressure. Braun. It can go both ways. Braun better produce. That's with that quarterback.
Yeah. Quarterback cannot be a problem again this year, Jay, because 2 of the 3 years that Braun has been there at Louisville, the quarterback was the biggest reason that Louisville had issues. With Plummer in year 1 and with Miller Moss in year 3, the quarterback held back Louisville football from getting where they needed to be. You cannot let Lincoln Kienholz come in here and be a problem in year 4. Haven, do you agree with that?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, this is put up or shut up. I mean, Braun, he got the extension. They got the extra money. Now we need to, we need to show and prove, as Jerry would say.
For sure. Jay, you got anything else this morning before we let you go?
In my closing remarks, Raashaan, explain to everybody about this $155 million budget that University. Explain that. I need to understand that.
Yeah, so Louisville was, they reported their budget with what was it, a $30 million deficit to Haven Harrington?
Yep.
Yeah, the Louisville reported their upcoming athletic budget with a $30 million deficit, which is crazy to think about, that Louisville's coming in basically saying that we're going to be in the whole 30 mil based on, what we've spent and, the expenditures for this upcoming year. That is a clear sign that Louisville basically said that they were going to go out there, overspend, in the hopes that they're going to get their return on investment on the other end, which basically means that they need for Louisville football and Louisville basketball to both be very, very good this upcoming year. Like Haven Harrington, to me, that's the way I read it, is basically we're going to go out there, we're putting the house up on, we're pulling the mortgage, we're pulling the savings, we're putting everything in and throwing it on red or black at the blackjack table. Am I reading that situation wrong, Haven?
No, it's exactly what we're doing. I mean, it's all on the line, because you have to, you got to show and prove. Like I said, you got to make a profit. I mean, not even a profit. You just got to
break even.
You can break even, or at least
get into the red a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I want to thank you guys, man. I'm going to get off it, but I want to say happy weekend, and happy Juneteenth weekend as well too. Hope you guys have a truly blessed Father's Day weekend, man. Traveling with friends, and man, two of the greatest fathers I know on this earth is Raashaan Myers and Haven Harrington. Boys, love you, man. 96.1, 4 show to go.
Thank you so much, Jay. Appreciate you. Happy Father's Day to you as well. That was Jay Has, one of the best to ever do it in the city of Louisville. Appreciate him checking in this morning. Thanks, Jay. There we go. But yeah, I do. This is going to be, people talk about the year of the Cardinal. Louisville, the University of Louisville needs a kind of quote unquote year of the Cardinal-esque season. They need that type of energy. They need that type of success on the field, on the court. This is a huge year upcoming. And I will be honest with you, Haven Harrington, and I've said this before, and I'll say this again. When I talked about this, the fact that Vegas is coming in with their projections of 7.5 wins for University of Louisville football, I personally feel like anybody's opinion of what Louisville football is going to be and how good they're going to be in 2026, 2027 is up for debate. So if people say that Louisville's going to make that mark and go well above it, I'm like, okay, I could see that happening. People say that I think Louisville's going to struggle to get there. I don't know about this quarterback. Louisville loses to the worst team in the conference every year. I can see that opinion as well. I am fully in the arms folded, and I'm not even sure I'm going to give a projection for what I think Louisville football is going to be this year, Haven, because I personally just don't know what Louisville's going to do. Is that fair?
That's more than fair, because it's true. You don't know. You don't have an idea of what Louisville can or can't do, or what they're capable of. I mean, take that back. We know what they're capable of. We just don't know what they're going to do. And like the song says, stakes are high. I mean, they got to figure something out quick, and they got to do it. I mean, you gave your coach the fan base, wanted Jeff to get paid. They thought he deserved to get more money.
I didn't even think. You know what? And that's another one. Jeff Brom and the new contract. That was another thing that puts a lot of pressure on Brom to perform. Like, we're coming up with all these. Like, to me, Haven, the clear answer is football is under more pressure this coming season.
I mean, it's under more pressure. Well, it's under more pressure, I think, not for what Louisville fans think, right? Because I honestly believe for probably 95% of Louisville fans out there, they would say Pat Kelsey is under the most pressure to win because of the recruiting he has, the class has come in, the new coaches, and this is just, this town loves college basketball, and we've kind of regulated football to the side. But financially, for the university, for the athletic department, you have to have football succeed more so than basketball because there's just way more money to be made on the football side.
But we also paid this head coach more money when did he really earn a contract extension?
No, he didn't earn it.
Did he earn it with the 2 seasons? Like, coming off of a 10-win season in your first year is awesome. But then when you followed up with 2 very average, disappointing 8-win regular seasons. Yes, I know they got to 9 wins in a bowl game, beating average bad teams in a bowl game, but 8-win regular seasons coming off of a 10-win start to me is extremely disappointing. I don't think that reads like, Jeff Brom deserved to be getting a contract extension and a raise.
No, not especially off of last year's performance. I mean, yes, I know, I totally get it. They were riddled with injuries, completely riddled with injuries. But a lot of mistakes they made, a lot of games they lost were self-inflicted wounds. I mean, yes, injuries play a big part of it, but I mean, my God, the penalties, the horrible turnovers. We had Virginia beat, and we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot with penalty after penalty, turnover after turnover. Isaac Brown fumbles. It seems like every other game he fumbles in the worst possible situation.
I mean, Louisville ignoring the offensive line recruiting before last year to me was the biggest issue. Like, Louisville allowed a couple of big time offensive linemen to walk out the door after the end of year 2 under Brom. They allowed a couple of big time offensive linemen, didn't replace any of them, and just said, well, the guys that we have on campus, those are going to be good enough. And that, to me, Haven, was the big death knell for Louisville football.
That and missed on Miller Moss.
Yeah, that's fair. No, the quarterback position as well. But, I mean, the fact that Louisville did not address the offensive line position at all, they didn't put any money into it, and then to me, Brom coming up after the end of the season this past year and saying, basically blaming NIL for the reason that he lost games and that the reason that Louisville didn't have the season that they wanted to have was NIL. But when I look at losing to California, did you lose to California because of NIL? Did California spend more than Louisville? Losing to Virginia at home, did Virginia spend more NIL than Louisville?
Clemson! You lost to the worst Clemson team in a decade.
I mean, yeah, I just, to me,
yes.
They said Club Nick. They said the good running back. I don't want to say Bill Maffa, but Clemson was still probably, if they had more wins, a mid-range, high-pack ACC team.
No, they were horrible last year.
The ACC is changing. ACC is changing.
It's not changing.
They added Stanford and Cal.
And
Pac-12 teams.
It's not the ACC. If you look at the ACC, it's still, when everybody talks about it, when you hear all the guys at ESPN, all the other radio shows talk about it, they still mention the same 3 schools, even though one of them is horrible, FSU. But they still talk about FSU, Miami, and Clemson, and then they talk about the rest of ACC. No matter how good SMU is, no matter what. It's going on in North Carolina.
Clemson, Miami, and Florida State are all going to move. They're all going to go to the SEC. That's where all the money is.
We want to move too, but you can't if you suck.
That means we suck. We're going to go 6-6. That's like a ceiling. That's what I think we're going to go. We're going to go 6-6.
Man, yeah, like
we're going to lose. We're going to lose to Ole Miss 33-24.
Ooh, weird.
Pete Holtz will have like 3 picks in like the fourth quarter. Isaac Bounds will have like 3 fumbles in the fourth quarter. No more receivers can catch. Like
we don't know because
our defense is going to be like hot dog waddle. They don't have like they don't have like in the movies how like how people like fall in the concrete and they like kind of like sit there on ash. The defense will be like that. Mannequins.
Hey, if that happens, Dre, if that happens in Louisville, if Louisville goes 6-6, that is to me disastrous for Jeff Brom.
But let's say they didn't give Brom a contract extension. What would happen then? How, James Franklin?
I mean, well, I think that to me, this season was the quote unquote put up or shut up season for Jeff Brom. Like in different ways, it feels like this season was supposed to be, is this the guy type question mark for Louisville football? Is this guy going to be able to get it done at a high level? I feel like that to me was going to be the conversation for both Louisville football and Louisville basketball. But because Louisville football has already given Brom the extension and the raise, they've already answered that Brom's going to be the dude.
I don't like to hate on Jack Plummer though. Jack Plummer was, I like to say Jack Plummer is one of the best quarterback developments that Jeff Brom has had here at Louisville. That's what I think.
Jack Plummer,
he's a pocket passer. He can't run, but he does know how to throw the deep ball. He can sling it around.
The problem with Jack, I'm gonna tell you what, the problem with Jack Plummer, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was, Dre. Jack Plummer, in terms of diagnosing the game and understanding what he needed to do, he was very good at figuring out, okay, I need to go here with the football. I need to put it here. He read the game well. The problem was his execution
was horrible.
Was inconsistent.
We didn't have any good receivers though.
His accuracy.
All we had was like Jamali Thrash.
I mean, I go back to,
he was a great receiver.
He had like hand surgery.
All I'm gonna say is this: go back and watch that game on the road at NC State. Jack Plummer.
Yeah, I saw that game.
Was horrid in that game.
Right, remember he had some good balls though. The jump ball to Kevin Coleman that was like they both caught at the same time. That was like a good ball. Right?
He had a couple of good passes, but Plummer was the best player on both teams in that game. He kept both Louisville and NC State.
He did throw that one pick, and then that deep ball to Chris Bell, like 50 yards.
See, but see what you're talking about is exactly who Jack Plummer was. He would make a great throw, and then he would make an awful throw. he was so inconsistent.
Well, what was the inconsistency with like Miller Moss?
I mean, Miller Moss
couldn't throw like. Man, my God, where to start with?
I just feel like Miller Moss was a dude that was never really that good, but he had the best of everything. He had the best coaches. He had the best training. He had the best. So, like, he was a guy who was not super talented, but because his family was well off to do, and he had a family that was well known in football, he always got the credit, like, for being, like, quote-unquote, coach's son. And it was like, well, his father is like this great football mind and this great football person. So, he's been under him all this time. It felt like, hey, am I wrong about that? But it feels like Miller Moss was a guy who got more credit than he ever really deserved as far as his talent.
I mean, totally. I mean, oh my gosh. I'd be like, where to start Miller Moss?
Would you rather trade Malik Cunningham for Miller Moss?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
All day.
I would take Malik Cunningham 1,000 times.
No. You wouldn't do that, would
Absolutely.
you? No.
Absolutely.
No.
I would take Malik Cunningham. Because let me tell you something, Dre. Malik Cunningham he couldn't get past his second read ever.
Malik Cunningham is not a quarterback.
He could at least run.
Malik Cunningham is not a quarterback. He is a running back. He literally switched to receiver for the Ravens.
Yeah, he did.
He switched to receiver.
He did.
That's how bad of a QB he was.
I'd still take him on Miller Moss.
He was behind Devin Leary.
My question is this. Will Miller Moss get any sort of cup of coffee in the NFL?
No. He will be serving the cup of coffee.
I feel like he's going to
he would be serving the cup of coffee to the players.
He's going to be in the UFL with every other,
He be paid for Louisville Kings last year.
No, he won't. He's not that good.
I mean, I think that's where he's going to end up, honestly. But, yeah, I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's hit our last break on time. When we come back, I got a couple of other topics. We can finish off this discussion. I want to talk about, we've definitely broken down the pressure on the Louisville football side of it. We want to see if there's anything outstanding for Louisville basketball in terms of pressure. We want to take your texts and calls as well. 502-414-1450. That is the Game Day Men's Health text line. We'd love to hear your thoughts next. This is Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, David Harrington, intern Dre, and we'll be back on the Big X.
Feel them stakes is high. Talking about
Big X Sports Radio. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, intern Dre taking care of you this morning. A little bit of juice coming back on that one. I love it. We're going with a little bit of old school street music. Haven Harrington. I watched it. You ever seen a movie called The Kids? It's a mid-90s movie.
Is it about kids?
It is about kids.
No, but I heard you talk about it
with Trevor Kelsey.
Yeah,
man, it's the most messed up movie ever. I had to go down a rabbit hole to find it, but so messed up, man.
Yesterday we watched some movie about this nanny, whatever. And, like she was like taking this woman's kid, whatever.
Was it Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
And no, it was like some like 80s movie. It was about like this like lady she like lost her kid.
Yeah.
And then like she was like trying to like take her she was like a nanny for like someone else's kid.
Yeah.
And then she was trying to take her kids, she blew out the inhaler from like this lady's thing, so she like passed out. And then she's like,
I feel like that's Hand That Rock the Cradle. I feel like that's the Hand That Rock the Cradle because I feel like that happened in that movie where she was trying to. She had asthma real bad, and she took away her good inhaler, so she couldn't breathe.
Yeah, she like blew out all the air.
Yes,
and then like I saw that. And then she got like thrown out the window. Then she got like
at the end, yes, and fell on the picket fence. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
And like the guy was like, no. No, I was like, bro, do something. You're like 6 foot.
That's hilarious. Dre, I appreciate the fact that your people have you watching The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That's classics. Hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh, that's a good one. 502-414-1450. That is the Game Day Men's Health text line. We're taking your text this morning. We're taking your text also on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitter. So get those messages in as we close down the show. Texter texted in earlier when we were talking about Cardinals in the that they got drafted, and some of the guys that Rick Pitino had success with. They said Terry Rozier, you can bet on that. I mean, come on. I don't know what's going on with Terry. Like, I saw a story saying that Terry Rozier still wants to get back into basketball. Do you think anybody's going to sign Terry Rozier?
Isaiah Thomas.
Like
Isaiah Thomas.
You think? You think Isaiah will go ahead and pull the cord on that one?
The one hit window, the 1 year.
Sometimes Isaiah Thomas would do.
That's fair. Joe Dumars, somebody like that just wants to prove that they still got it, maybe. But yeah, I think Terry can hang that one up. What about Brendan Sorsby? Do you think that Brendan Sorsby will have a market?
Innocent. He's innocent. The courts, the judge said he's innocent.
Yeah, no.
Even though he's a Texas Tech fan, but it doesn't matter though.
See, but Dre, you got to understand. The judge didn't say he was innocent. The judge just said that if we penalize him, it will hurt his feelings if he doesn't get to play.
Yeah, and you don't want to mess with the Red Raiders.
That's why.
Or unless and then they'll lose to Orange Bowl again.
Well, that Sorsby is saying that now because he's gotten in so much trouble, that he's going to just go ahead and try to get the NFL to have a supplemental draft so he can just jump to the NFL right now. So he won't have to wait in college.
But no team's going to draft him. No team's going to draft him because he's like betting on his own team.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's my question. Do you think any team would go out there and draft a dude who's been known for gambling?
Tennessee would.
I mean,
the Titans, you think so?
Yeah, my Tennessee Titans.
I mean, unless he was like an otherworldly talent, no.
Yeah,
because he's a good quarterback.
He had some flashes,
but he's not like I'm gonna put my franchise on this dude's shoulders quarterback. No, he'll be all right. I mean, he'll once again be in the UFL and improve his way.
Will he be like a permanent backup or just like
no UFL?
He's gonna have to go UFL. Have to go.
Is that like the free agents of like the NFL now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like UFL has kind of established themselves as like the league right under the NFL, right?
Is that the G League of the NFL now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you saw how many guys from the Kings have gotten drafted?
Like 4, right?
Yeah, at least 4 have gotten not drafted but signed. There have been at least 4 guys from the Kings themselves that have gotten signed. I know that the Detroit Lions picked up a few of the Kings players, wide receivers, right? They picked up a couple of the wide receivers and the kicker. Who did the kicker sign with? He signed with
Patriots, was it?
I don't think it was the Patriots. I can't remember. It was the East Coast team, but I can't. It may be the Tampa Bay Bucks or so. But he got picked up by somebody. So like it really feels like the UFL has established themselves, here in their third year as kind of the minor leagues of the NFL, which the NFL's never really had. But you would think that haven should do wonders for the UFL moving forward in terms of staying a viable product in the spring. Wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, plus the ratings are great. Actually, the ratings beat Major League Soccer. You talk about NFL minor leagues. Like I missed the World League. I used to.
Oh yeah, the World League. Dre, what you know about the World League? Do you know anything about the World League?
No.
That was well before you. The World League used to be awesome. They had a whole football league of European teams.
Yeah, they'll call it like soccer.
No, the NFL like teams in Frankfurt, Germany, Scotland, England. It was like an NFL run minor league.
Yeah, NFL Europe.
So they just took rugby players and put on pads.
It was cool though. The Scottish Claymores. I can't remember the names of the teams. The Frankfurt, were they the Frankfurters?
No.
Oh, that's a terrible name.
Or was it the Dragons? It was they had some pretty cool names for their teams.
And cool uniforms too.
And cool uniforms. They did. That was like a late 90s, early 2000s thing.
I've been watching the flag football with Tom Brady. He's been cooking lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Tom Brady he's got to try to keep his face somewhere, doesn't he? Even in the off season.
I want him to come back and play again.
Do you? Yeah. You can never go back, Dre. That's what I try to tell my son. He keeps trying to tell me how Steph Curry is still the man and going to win another championship.
Oh, no, he's not.
I keep trying to tell him. I'm like, dude, all these guys are cooked. Whether it's Steph, whether it's LeBron, whether it's KD, all these guys are cooked.
It was the Hamburg Sea Devils, the Frankfurt Galaxy,
the
Rain Fire,
yes,
Amsterdam Admirals, and the Berlin Thunder.
Thank you, Haven. Yes, that was a blast from the past. I loved it.
And then it was like, the Barcelona Dragons. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Barcelona Dragons and the Scottish Claymores, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They had the Montreal Machine, the London Monarchs.
London Monarchs, I remember them. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, NFL Europe was like a big thing for a while, man. Like it was.
They seem like Canadian teams.
They had them all over. I mean, NFL Europe was like huge. Like NFL put a lot of money into it. But like I think that the UFL has an opportunity, especially because they're domestic. You could almost start to like farm out some of these teams to the NFL. I think that would be a great partnership. I think it would be huge for the UFL. I think the fact that they have the backing from Fox to broadcast those games. I think that you could see this partnership start to become more solidified. And if that happens, the fact that the Louisville Kings were able to get in there, establish themselves, win a championship,
and I think we had the highest attendance too in the league.
They were, I believe, in terms of per ticket sold, percentage of tickets sold. I don't think they had the highest attendance number because Lynn Stadium was a little bit smaller than some of the other, stadiums that they played in. But in terms of,
I would say if you watch these games,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like number of percentage tickets sold, I think they were number
their own like stadiums, and like sounds like the St. Louis Rams only.
Yeah, but they had like 5 people in attendance.
Well, I've seen like one UFL game where I haven't seen one, and they're like, it was a good crowd there.
Yeah. I mean, no, the UFL games. I mean, they sold out for the UFL Bowl for the championship there in DC. I mean, they had a sold out stadium for that event. I just think that there's potential there. With the UFL getting the standing they have been looking for a minor league for the NFL for years, all the way back to the USFL in the 80s. And there's never been a football league that's been able to sustain and really take advantage of it. UFL seems to have the best chance to really get in there and establish themselves as a long-term brand that can service kind of the minor leagues for the NFL. So good on the Louisville Kings for getting that done. I'll be interested to see how that continues.
What team does Tua's brother play for?
I'm not sure actually. I know that Tallulah is playing somewhere, but I'm not sure on that one.
So
thank you, Texter. Texter texted in and said that the kicker for the Kings, he got signed by the New Orleans Saints.
Okay,
that's who he got signed by. So he'll be down there with Chuck. Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Now that it seems like the Chicago Bears
Oh,
are
no.
moving to Hammond, Indiana.
Pollution.
And granted, it still be the Chicago Bears because that is quote unquote Chicago land. Would you guys have gotten behind if the city of Louisville, the state of Kentucky, try to make a run at the Bears? Like a serious run at the Bears, like we'll build you a brand new $2 billion stadium.
Okay, well, first of all, you know, Haven.
I would, but like we would just be heavily in debt for like the next like 5 years.
5.
No, I'm gonna take that.
5 was putting nice for like 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, I know. It's like the Chicago Bears are good. I don't think. Maybe personally, I don't think they should have moved. Soldier Field is like
it's iconic.
It's iconic.
I get it. It's iconic.
But they were terrible the last
You know what?
the 100 years they were there.
It doesn't matter.
They drafted Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes, which was a terrible draft pick, by the way.
One of the worst ever.
But even though he did even though they were like in the wild card and they lost like a double joint like back-to-back years, Caleb Williams can and maybe will that be that guy. I don't think he will per se be that guy.
I'm just saying, would you have been opposed to the state of Kentucky and the city of Louisville going hard for the Bears?
I just feel like, look, you can ask that question, and of course I would support an NFL team coming here, but it's against because there's 2 NFL teams within a certain distance of the city of Louisville. It just never would happen because there's proximity rules in the NFL. If there's another NFL team, I believe it's within 200 miles.
I mean, but Hammond, Indiana is 200 miles Indianapolis.
I don't know. Maybe
It's right on the cutoff.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not on the cutoff. That's the thing. It's not even close to being a cutoff.
That they said that those would, there's already an NFL team. The NFL tries to stay away from. Let's say maybe it's not a hard and fast rule, but the NFL tries to stay away from oversaturating a market. And they feel that Louisville is in both the Bengals market and the
Titans market,
as well as the Colts market. So that's why a team wouldn't go there. It's because they are within the market, quote unquote, of 3 different NFL teams, which is why they wouldn't come to Louisville.
Would you still be opposed? Because and the reason I say that is because to lure, let's say, NFL team here, the amount of money you would have to put out would just be, I mean, Hammond, Indiana put out literally going to build you $2 billion plus stadium, and they're not going to charge you property taxes on said stadium forever.
Yeah.
And, they give them all these, and you're going to get this, and you're going to get that. I mean, just like all of this inducements to get the NFL to move to Hammond, Indiana. Knowing how much Louisville spent like on the bridges, the investment in the Yum Center, and everything else. I mean, do you think that financially, would you be okay with Mayor Greenberg going to the Bears owners like, listen, we'll build you a $3 billion stadium with the city and state. We'll float the bonds, build you guys a $3 billion stadium. Who knows what it'd be? Let's say, we'll destroy something downtown so we can build it there, whatever. Like, would you be okay with that?
I mean, look, if that's the way that they wanted to go about things, I mean, the NFL brings so much in terms of commerce. Like, overall, there's a reason why you do that is because it brings so much business to the town. I would be fine with it. I think the NFL is a money printing machine. So, like, if you're able to bring the NFL, you say that you're willing to foot that bill because of everything you get on the return. So, yeah, I would definitely.
I rather would have a MLB or NBA team instead of the NFL because there's so many teams already here. We already have the Louisville Kings, Louisville Cardinals, Louisville Bats.
Honestly, I would tell you right now, the NFL would destroy, would easily suck up all the dollar oxygen, all the sponsorship oxygen that this city would have to offer, easily.
But it's
because I mean, like you cannot compare the Kings, the Louisville football team, the Louisville basketball. That does not the NFL
combined. It could. Not even equal. I think it could.
Not even combined. I mean, this is like worlds apart. I mean, this isn't even in.
hey,
What if they don't even have to build a new stadium? What if like NBA team just come to like the Yum Center, or the NHL just come to the Yum Center?
Now the NBA is different because the Yum Center was built
for the NBA.
For the NBA with the NBA team in mind. Louisville just whiffed twice. Like Louisville had 2 legitimate shots to get an NBA team.
Well, the problem is now, especially for NFL stadiums. Dre, I don't know. Have you and your dad driven down to Nashville anytime recently? Have you seen how big the Titans' new stadium is?
The new one?
Yes.
I didn't know that you made it.
Yes, yeah. They're
like twice.
They're opening a new stadium.
Why would they do that? They're going to be 3-14 again.
It's going to be an indoor facility.
It won't matter.
It's huge. I'm talking about it looks huge, like the Coliseum. It's so big. It's humongous. It's indoor. It's a big giant. I mean, it's almost 3. You said twice as big. It's probably 3 times as big as old.
So they remade it.
Yeah, no, it's huge. Like Titan Stadium is still there. You can see both of them.
They're both back.
Louisville and Ole Miss are playing. Are you guys going to the game?
Yes.
So you'll see it when you go down there. The Titan Stadium, the old Nissan Stadium is still there, but the new site of it's so big you can see it easily from the Titan Stadium. It's humongous. But that's the thing is that like the NFL's building like super giant coliseums now. Where would that even go? We had a texter text and say, where would they build the stadium in Louisville? It said the West End. Where would it go? I was like, I have no idea.
Probably like Shelby, Oldham County.
They'd have to
tear down that Popeyes right next to us and just like put it right there.
I mean, it's just you need so much land for those type of projects now, and
or just tear down L&N Stadium and be like, here.
I want to tear down L&N.
I mean, it would be huge. I don't know if it would fit. I mean, those stadiums.
They are beyond.
You got to tear down the L&N and the alley for that.
You would have to. You would have to go to the county. You would probably have to go to Oldham County. That's a good call, Haven. Yeah. It would have to be in like Oldham County. And since of that, the Bengals definitely ain't going for that.
No.
So you're gonna have to go maybe to Bullitt or into
Front Creek.
What is that first straight 65 South?
Bullitt County, Trimble is like 71. Trimble's on the other side.
You're gonna have to go somewhere down that way, down 65 South. Like that'd be the only way. And then I feel like the Titans are gonna have an issue with that. So yes, that's the whole point of this conversation. Is like to me. It's gonna be a tough. It would be a tough.
It never happened, but I was just curious your thoughts because honestly, Dre, the only real shot that we had at one of the top 4 sports leagues is we had 2 legitimate shots
at the NBA.
Yeah, and we decided that we didn't want the NBA here. Like we chose Louisville basketball.
Yeah, over
the Hornets.
Yeah.
Hornets,
which was the dumbest decision ever,
and the Houston Rockets,
and the Rockets, which was the dumbest decision.
The Houston Rockets were ready to come.
I have a question though. It does do with basketball, but it doesn't do with teams. Do you think Zion Williamson is a bust?
Yes,
I don't think so. I don't think he's a bust, but he's on track to be that.
The disappointment, Dre, that I have in that draft class, where you had both Zion Williamson and John Morant come out of that draft class, I thought that both of those guys. We're going to be absolute superstars.
You don't think John Morant is a superstar?
Absolutely not. John Morant has been a humongous disappointment.
John Morant is a clip farmer. He has clips upon clips. He has highlights.
That's all he's good for. He has
highlight reels.
Honestly, that's all he's good for.
The problem with John Morant is his first several seasons, he was electric. But the problem is with his height and the way he plays,
and his off the court issues. Yeah, let's not pass over the elephant in the room.
He made some mistakes.
His off court issues. Some mistakes.
Yes. Some mistakes.
Like his gun charges, man.
I would say this. Besides his off the court issues, his on the court issues is the way he plays is not sustainable.
He just hasn't gotten any better. Like to me, that's the problem. John is still the same dude now that he was when he got into them.
I mean, he is, but the problem is a lot of that's because of the way, because he's a shorter guy that has like springs in his legs and is hyper athletic. It leads to a lot of injuries. 1, 2, it's hard to keep that style of play up night in and night out and be consistent with it because it takes so much out of you to play at that level.
I mean, you look at him.
NFL players don't even play that many games in the regular season in the first place.
I mean, Ja was that man year 3 and year 4.
Yeah.
Like he was 27 points per game. He was 26 points per game. But his points per game numbers have decreased every year over the last 4 years.
And
every year, 26 points down to 25. He's down to 19 and a half.
The NBA game is changing. They don't want just like one-way players that can just shoot the ball. They want defensive and offensive players now.
I mean, it's changing, but his style of play makes it difficult because it'll put so much energy into the way he plays because he's a shorter player and his game is based on just being like hyper athletic.
Yeah. He just hasn't progressed. He hasn't gotten it. He hasn't worked on his jump shot. He hasn't really improved in any spot. And now because of the injuries, he's losing his athleticism. I think him and Zion both, I thought were going to be a lot better than what they have been. And, sadly, both of them have dealt with a lot of injuries that have played into it, but they just, neither one of those two guys just really were what I thought they were going to be.
I thought the ceiling was higher on Ja, but for Ja to really to be that player long haul, he would have to develop an outside jump shot just so he could relax on being hyper athletic and kind of use that to kind of pace his athleticism so he wouldn't wear himself out.
Well, Zion can shoot a little bit. He can shoot the 3-ball.
Yeah, but after Zion's injuries.
Yeah, well, he doesn't really shoot it, though. I mean, Zion, he averaged, let's see, last year Zion was shooting less than a 3 a game. So, yeah. I mean, he didn't really shoot it that much. He averaged 21 points per game last year, which isn't terrible. But it's a little bit better than the 19.
He's Shaq, but a power forward. That's really what he is.
He's Shaq without, but with no post moves.
Well, it's your same conversation, right?
Hops.
It's athleticism. Both of those guys were predicated on just being ridiculously elite athletes. And the problem is that
injuries robbed you of that. There's nothing to fall back on.
They haven't developed the other parts of their game enough.
Case study, Dwayne Wade.
I would say keep an eye on both of those guys coming up for this NFL draft. There might be a couple of major moves on Tuesday in this year's NFL.
Dwayne Wade is not one of the best players.
No, but I'm saying is like if you look at Dwayne Wade's game when he first got in the league, he was one of those hyper athletic dudes when he first got in the league.
Yeah.
But then as he got older and his athleticism starts to wane, he changed his game up and was still relevant towards the end of his career.
No,
I still don't like
that's
that.
fair. That's fair.
I didn't.
Hey, a couple little things before we get out of here. I know we only got a couple minutes left, but Texter did text in asking, "Is Wake Up?" He said, "Where will Wake Up 502 be going to have the pregame show in Nashville for Ole Miss?" It's going to be at Hurricane 10 on Broadway. That's going to be where we're at. The Category 10. That's going to be where we are. That's the Louisville Alumni Association. That's where we'll be for that. Texter also texted in and said, Rick Pitino and Tom Judge made sure that the NBA did not come to Louisville. I can't disagree with that either. So yeah, for sure. I tell you what, it has been a quick day. Thanks so much to all you guys listening. We have so much more that we're going to get into next week. We'll have an NBA draft to react to. We'll know where Michael Brown Jr. is. Get you ready for Summer League. That and much, much more. Dre, thank you so much for checking in. Haven Harrington, thank you so much. This is Raashaan Myers for Haven Harrington and Turn Dre. Wake Up 502, 96.1 FM. We will be back next week with another fun-filled program, and we're out here on the Big A.